I understand that we are broadcasting live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Robert Henderson Understanding Money Part 2 show. After listening to Robert and Linda this morning, oh my goodness, I got so many questions. Oh, here's what I want you to do. Please, as you check in, and I'll mention this a couple of times because people check in later, but as you check in, if you have a thought or if you have a question, please, 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 please put that question in, okay? Put it in the chat so that we can, hey, answer any questions you may have or any thoughts you may have. Because as our special guest this morning is going to do, I was sharing just before we went on backstage, I was saying how when I first met Larisa, what she did for me was she introduced me to multiple ways of earning money. Oh my goodness. Now, can you, that was almost like planting a seed today and having a harvest tomorrow because I made an instant change. And I put it on Larisa and I told her, if my wife don't do what she's supposed to do, please call me and I'm going to put her away. so I can tell you, hey Robert, I can tell you already, my life has changed, from where I was a year or so ago with all that Larissa is doing, and she's telling me how, James, you don't need these LLCs and da 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 da. You can do this. So we're gonna have a great day today. So Robert, hey, I'm gonna say if you want to recap what you and Linda did, and then introduce yourself and introduce our guest. Hey, it's on you because I want to hear from Larissa because if she's got some more ideas of how I can earn more money and be able to give more than I've ever given before, hey, I'm with that. I'm with that.
James, man, you said a mouthful, man, and that is so enlightening, and it just brings chills to me, because you said, because you just got introduced to Larissa a year ago, and your life and your viewpoint has changed amazingly for the best, even better. I mean, you were good, and it became better, but you're on your best way right now, man.
I'm living my abundant life. I'm living my abundant life because of Robert and Larissa.
Abundant tax returns, man. But that's big. That's big, James, because you said that she showed you, introduced you. And it's not like it's wasn't here. It's just that you were introduced and built the relationship, and now you see that it's all. Look, Larissa, how long you been in business, girl?
31 years.
Oh man. So James, you just met her last year. So she's been here waiting on you. Hey, when I first met her, I said, what did I say to you, Larissa, when I first met you? What did I say? You remember?
You said, is this for real?
And how long I said I've been looking for you?
All your life.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
I talked to her. I hadn't even physically met her. I was on the phone and I was talking to her and she was going, I said, I have been looking for you all my life. And she laughed. Boy. We had never even met each other, man, because when she was telling me, it was music to my ears. I'm like, this is it. James, there's some part of the scriptures that says when you come upon that truth, you're going to give up everything that you have to get it.
Hey, you can bet the farm. See, come on. If anybody came to you with an idea, Robert, and as you talked about, there's always going to be, quote unquote, risk, right? But all of a sudden, within your complete being, you're saying, I'm willing to take that risk because of what it says to me emotionally, what it says to me spiritually. And it makes sense because within us, there's a greater, going back to what you started, and Larissa said, we're going to always be preaching. But going back to what we said, if there's a greater in you and it speaks to the greater in you and it shows you something that you aren't doing, that you can do, that you can be not just good, but you can be better and working toward that best. Oh my goodness. Come on, man. Hey, I quit my job. Uh-oh. Got silent.
You quit your job, like, huh? You ain't getting no money.
Rob,
I quit my job. Like, where's the money?
Hey, because Larissa will show you how what you have is more than enough to earn more than what you're getting from your job. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100%. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, those of you all who just signing in and just, some people sign in, some people don't. But if you never ever tuned in, it's the first time. I am Robert Henderson Jr. I am Robert Henderson Jr. At least that's what they call me.
That's big.
That's what they gave me. Hey, that's what they gave me. Out on this time around, in this outfit I got on, in this body, in this skin, I am known as Robert Henderson Jr. And I'm a certified financial planner, certified tax coach. I am the president and founder of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida, and we're a full service financial planning firm. Our motto is we, all of us, we help you build your future now in the present. That's what we do. Think about that. We help you to build and create a better future right now. That's what we do at the Henderson Finance Group. So I want you to think about that. Yes, we're right now, what we're doing, we're working not only now, but we're working on the future, because the future is the next second, the next hour. Yes, but you got to do something now. And joining me live here is my good partner, my brother from another mother. That's James T. He's going to introduce himself to you, tell you how long he's been in this business.
No. I want to hear from Larisa.
Man, some people don't know who you are, James. You got to let them know, who that dude is.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Larisa, I guess. Larisa is my a sister from another mother. Right. Sister from another mother? Yeah. Who, when I heard her voice, I told her, I recognized the truth in her and the truth in me, and we was as one. I told her, I've been looking for this truth all my life. And we both laughed. And we both said, she recognized me and I recognized her. And we hadn't even laid eyes on this. There's something about truth and discernment. When you hear the truth, if you have truth in you, you'd recognize, and there is peace. The God in me reached the God in you, and there is peace. Larisa, that's enough preaching?
Yes, that would be enough. All right, preachers, pastors and preachers, I just want to say, giving honor to God and all the congregation. Thank you for letting me be here today.
Oh, we're glad to have you.
So what I'd like to talk to you all about is, like you said, you are bringing the future into today. And that is exactly what tax planning is. It's just a setup. We are setting you up to achieve the future you are planning to have. Because if you don't plan, then you're going to end up someplace else, right? You just let the wind blow you around. You're not going to get to wherever you are wanting to be.
So we get that. But I also want to, because I know you got a strategy, because that's why me and James see like you. But in the world that we live in, why is there different rules and regulations for employees and employers? And tell us, who does the tax law in this country favor, the employee or the employer, and why?
Okay, well, first of all, there are two different tax systems. There's
in America?
one for the employees, which is not the favorable one, because what it does is you get paid the money that you make from your job, but before you get it, they pull the taxes out and give you what's left. That's the employee system. The other system is for employers, business owners, real estate investors, where you make the money you make, you subtract all of your expenses out, and then you pay taxes on what's left.
So
So the trick to the game is have enough expenses so that the taxes you end up paying in the end are very, very minimal to none.
so like you said, in America, there are two tax systems. One
Yes,
is for the worker, and then one is for the employer who's paying the worker. And you're saying that the employer who paying the records, the odds are heavily stacked in his or her favor.
that's correct.
But let me ask you another question. In your plan and your strategy, since a lot of people who are not wealthy and they got a profession, they went to college, they learned a trade, and they work for someone, even though you just said that there's a system for paying taxes for them, and there's a system for paying taxes and benefits for the employer. But you don't have to just be one or the other. You can actually be an employee, and also be an employer. Tell us about that.
Well, the way the tax code works, you have to be an employee of your own company in order to get all the benefits of tax planning. Because the way they wrote the tax code, the benefits are all geared toward employees. How much sense did that make? Okay. So if you own a business, you're able to write off all the expenses associated with that business. Well, in my business, I pay my staff members, my employees. I may give them allowance for their car. I could give them an allowance for food. I can give them an allowance for their office space. And these would all be write offs for me. I would give them money in their check every week to take care of all these things. Now that everybody's working at home, I give them an allowance for their internet service because they have to have internet service in order to connect into our meetings all the time. So
Oh,
this is how the employees are able to get. I'm sorry, the employers are able to get write-offs for all these different things because I'm an employee of my company. Also, I get the car allowance, the meal allowance, the office reimbursement, all these different benefits because that's what's written in the tax code.
okay. So let me ask you a question because I like to simplify things, and I like to ask questions with and really plain, and I got to get clarity. So is it safe to say that the employee, a 9 to 5 employee or a 3 to 11 employee, someone who gets a W-2, meaning that they work for wages and the boss, the employer, the company pays them. Is it safe, just right off the top, is it safe to say in America, if you fit in that category, you are probably paying the highest tax regarding the two systems?
Yes.
Okay. So would you say there is an abundance, a lot of people that are in that category where they're working, whether they got a, master degrees or an employer, if as long as they're getting a W-2, are you saying that in the simplicity of this, right off the top, they are in the worst position regarding paying taxes?
Yes, that is what I would say.
Okay. Now, if one finds themselves in the worst money tax paying system out of the two systems, how can one who may like and love their 9 to 5 W-2 job, how can they help themselves? How can you make them understand that even though they may be a doctor and they work for a hospital, or they may be just an employer at a factory or a company or a teacher, and they get a W 2, how can you help them with these two tax codes, these systems that are in America? And we know that they're in the worst possible position as it in terms of benefiting from the two tax codes, because they are 9 to 5 or 3 to 11 or whatever. They are regular W-2 employees. How can and what moves do they have available to them to help mitigate and reduce their taxes and stay in that position? What must they do?
The best thing to do is buy some real estate or start a business. Actually, start a business. You could do real estate in your business or do something else, some kind of side hustle. If you can make some cakes, then make some cakes and start selling them. Whatever you can do, whatever your gifts are, do that and make money. And then we can give you some great write offs on your taxes that would decrease the amount of money you make at your 9 to 5 job.
Hey, Robert, Larissa. Now, Larissa, when you tell them to do that, they should also find someone like yourself, because there is a way that that should be set up so that they can benefit from it, not
This
just having that side business and bringing in that income. You need to have the foundation set up so that you can benefit from both of those systems.
That's true. If I've run into many people that say, "Oh, I this is my side business, but I don't like to report it on my income taxes." And I'm like, "Well, you're not getting the benefit of that. I mean, yeah, you're going to collect that money, but it's not helping you to decrease the money you make at your 9 to 5 job. It's not doing you much good at all, actually, because in the end, that little money is not going to mean much when it comes down to it." So,
but Larissa, what you've been able to show us is, with that side hustle, and you think that even if you think that I'm getting over because I got a side hustle and I'm dealing in cash, but there is a better way.
Yes, there is.
Where they can earn and learn and get more bang for the money that they make, whether it's on the 9 to 5 and see, that's why I told Robert this morning when he talked about the ETFs, hey, what are you going to do with the money that you earn on the side? Because you best be careful as to how you spend it because of tax laws. Correct?
That's right. And what people don't seem to understand is that the banks are federal. They can go and look and see what you have in your bank account all the time. I had one guy that cleans carpets, and he would have people write a check to him personally, and he would deposit it in the bank. I said, "You don't think the bank has a copy of that check? You don't think they know that you're receiving this income?"
So hold on, let's stop for a second. When you say the banks are federal, and when you say they, who are you talking about?
Yes.
So are you saying that when you put money in a bank,
yes,
you're saying that it is open game, maybe not for your neighbor or your friend, but you saying the taxing authority, Uncle Sam, the watchdog, when you put money in the bank and you think nobody knows, you're saying that Uncle Sam can access and see exactly how much money you put in that bank.
That's correct. They
Okay.
have access to all of the banking records from the United States.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question, because I'm the questions that I'm bringing to you. I'm bringing to you at a early state of mind. Someone, because in the 8 to 9 o'clock show earlier that Linda and I did this morning, I talked about uh giving people information that 95% of the people in the country didn't know, didn't understand. And I recapped and talked about what is a pension, what is Social Security, and what is a fixed guaranteed annuity. And even though those are three different names, descriptions, they all basically are for providing a guaranteed stream of income to you as a person, an income that doesn't have risk, an income that you don't have to worry about losing. As long as you are alive, you will continue to receive that income. And if you're married and you die, then that means your spouse will continue to receive. They call them, one category one name is a pension. Even though Social Security name is different than pension, the business model is basically the same,
Right.
and it's the same as the annuity, where money has put into a vehicle for later use. When you retired, or if you come out of the rain, you're coming out of the rat race, you want to be able to sit back and get income every month before you get out of bed. And they call
Right.
them, they call them, different names, but they all mean the same. So I'm talking to you. My questions are coming to you from an early infant, plain simple stage. We know now that in America, because a lot of people who are 60 and 70 years old who's listening to this still don't understand this. So that's why I want to backpedal things that we should have learned. Because it's amazing that America puts itself out as being the most greatest and powerfulest country in the world, but yet there's a lot of illiteracy in the country because America system is set up to tell people what to think and not teach us how to think. I'm going to say it again.
True.
American whole system, the fabric of America when it comes to knowledge, truth, and understanding, you can't really get that from the surface and without seeking, asking, and knocking. You can't. Because on the surface, America is like the Wizard of Oz. It's Oz. And you have to be able to discern and read between the lines and understand the game of life. Now, when you said, as you become an adult and you enter into the job market, employment, we need to first know how the game is played. You're going to be trying to make money and earn a living, and they're going to be trying to take it. and I can't leave this out. I cannot leave this out. Even though we're all trying to survive, make money, and there is a system that's trying to take it, but I cannot leave this other system out that lurks in the back. They're waiting to put you in jail. You can't. No,
Right. You think that's the end result? They want to lock you up?
They're trying to take you out. If you listen, they will put you in jail for any little thing they can. All right. Okay. So you gotta play the game of life, the rules. You gotta play them correctly. So now you started off, because when you start coming into the money game and trying to feed your family and build wealth, there are two systems. The system that's trying to take your money is this taxing authority. And if
Mhm.
you don't know how to keep your money legally all your life, you will be overpaying a portion of what you earn, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So
And most people do.
you say most
Boom.
people do?
Oh,
Because we
yeah.
don't know.
Most people
Because we
don't
don't know.
know everything that they could use to lower their taxes.
You think that's by mistake or deliberate?
I'm definitely deliberate. It's right there in the tax code, but who wants to read all that? It's long, it's complicated, it's difficult to understand, and it's written in all this tax code speak that if you don't have extensive knowledge of all of that, you probably just wouldn't understand it.
But what about H&R Block or the CPA or the accountant down the street? They supposed to, that's their job, isn't it?
No,
What
they
do you
just
know?
know how to account for what happened in the past. They're not looking forward to plan the different strategies that are needed to decrease your taxes. So if you didn't know to do it last year, and it would have to have been done during the previous year, then it doesn't get done. There's no accounting for it. So you're just stuck in the same old place you were last year paying all those taxes.
Robert, and that was I just love. I have never even physically met Larissa, but I can love Larissa because when she showed me how to restructure, not only that I could quote unquote keep more of the money that I earn, but that I could be a blessing to both my children, you know, by employing them and getting a come on, oh Rob, come on, Rob. See that's the and when she said a key word there, Robert, strategies. You know, we can't strategize if we don't have the knowledge. So we have to reach out to people that have the knowledge and saying, this is what I'm doing, but how can I do it better? And that was the key, and that's the answer. How can I do better based on what I'm doing? And you and I know that there's always a better way. No matter how great we think we are in what we're doing, there is always a better way. And if you don't want to say it's a better way, there's always another way. And then you can determine whether it's better for you or not. Right, Larissa?
That's right. That's absolutely right. So
I read.
what we like to do is try to find ways that suit your lifestyle. That's what tax planning is about. So if whatever your lifestyle is, and you need to drive this fancy car, okay, we're going to find a way to write that off for you. If you want to live in the big old house, okay, we'll find a way to write that off. You need to take vacations all over the world and do fun stuff. I think Mr. James T like to play golf all over the world. We can find a way to write that off.
So that is see what you're saying, Larissa. That's you know that's just not explained or taught at an early age. When I first met you over the phone after seeing you in a book, I said I've been looking for you all my life. Now that I guess it comes from a lot of prayers, but there are people who don't even know that they don't even know
Right.
that they don't even know what we're talking about is even here. Fortunately, it's been 10 years. I've been a certified financial planner 35 years. So 25 of those years, I didn't even know you was on the planet. Matter of fact, I didn't even know about the US tax code and how it is favorable for entrepreneurs, business owners. I didn't know that. I had a CPA and I paid a lot of taxes. And I thought, hey, this is the way, you know, the game is played. I mean, it's like, all my life, and I was coming up, I really, really ate, swallowed, that Christopher Columbus discovered America. That's because I was told that. I just did. And so there's a lot of people right now that feel when they get ready to do their income taxes, whether they're entrepreneur or W-2 employee, they just feel that go to H&R Block or go to a regular accountant. This is what they do. They don't know that there's people like Larisa who can really give you meat and potatoes, can really give you the truth and help you. So how do they find that, James? What is that, a blessing, James? How do we get to here?
Well, Robert, you have to recognize, first of all, where you are. That's the first thing that I did. I recognized where I was. I recognized, wait, Robert, last week we talked about this. I gave him a challenge. I recognized that you have to have a goal. I have a goal. The reason I wanted a tax strategist is because, well, not just me. We've got a goal. We have a goal of building something that has yet to be built. Okay. And in order to do that, hey, if I can earn more and if we can do more, then that's what we need to do, is find people who know what we don't know, who can show us things we don't know, and say, here's how you can do this a different way. And we always talk about Wallace D. Waddle doing certain things a certain way. So, okay. And it doesn't mean that that's the only way, but it works with what we're doing. So for folks out there listening, we call them dreams, but they're not really dreams. They can be your goal. If you would write it down, it'll be your goal. If you just keep thinking about it, yeah, it's a dream, whether it's a daydream, night dream, or whatever, close your eyes dream. But hey, if you're just dreaming, I think Atlantic Star did a song called Am I Dreaming? Many of us spend our whole lives dreaming. I don't want to dream, Robert. Yeah, I don't want to dream. Hey, I want to have a goal and I want to work at it every day. And that's where you come in, Robert. That's where Larisa comes in. So to those people, and we said earlier, if you just joined us, if you have a comment or a question, please post it up, because we want feedback from you. Maybe there's another direction you'd like for Larisa to take this. Maybe there's something personal that you've been told that you have a question about. But what I had to do personally, Robert, was, one, recognize where I was, two, have that goal, and three, being willing to change.
Yeah,
Because
I like
being willing to change. You have to have that desire to change. And Larisa did tell me, "Are you crazy?"
She told me that too.
Yeah, right. I was doing something, and she said, "Wait, you let them do what?" Yeah. Hey, Rob, come on. Hey, wake up call. Wake up call. So
Larisa,
people have to be prepared for that. Go ahead.
Larisa, you said something that I know the audience want to hear more of. You said that you do tax planning
strategies
to correlate with an individual's person's lifestyle. You gotta tell us. Now, I know the people on Facebook. I know the people that's listening, hearing. I know they ain't never heard that. You do tax planning and strategies based on the individual's lifestyle. Girl, give us some more of that. What you talking about?
Okay. It depends on, and the biggest problem I normally have with people when I'm trying to do a plan for them is they don't know what they want. So, but once you figure that out,
okay.
Once you figure that out, we can build a plan around you. Okay, so I have one client, he loves to go out on his boat every weekend. And normally you don't get a write-off for a boat. But because we're using it to have him teach fishing to his two little girls, and the wife is a dentist, so the dental office sponsors this show to teach fishing, they're getting a write-off for it. So they're using that boat, all of the swimming suits, the fishing gear, the food, the docking fees, port fees, whatever you got to pay to have a boat. I'm not down there in beautiful Miami, but all of that, all that expense is paid for by the dental office that gets a write-off for it because we're using it as advertising.
Wow.
All because he wants to fish.
But hearing that and the way you just explain it made a lot of sense. Well, people go, yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Why I ain't think of that? Or why my accountant didn't think of that? But that makes a lot of sense. You actually take a person's lifestyle and make it where it's tax deductible, correct?
Right.
That's amazing. And that's in the tax code. You could do that as long as it's a business, correct?
Right. Well, there has to be a business involved. Usually I use that to sponsor whatever activity you're trying to do. So it just depends. Like I have one client who does like to play golf all over the world. And so what he's doing is teaches his sons how to play golf, but he likes to visit all these exotic golf courses. So we made that into the lesson. So all that travel to Europe, well, I haven't even talked to him to see if he's still going since the pandemic came, but he's been traveling to different countries to play these famous golf courses, and he's getting a write-off for it.
How is he able to get a write-off though? Explain that.
Because he has a construction business. So they always do a little ad about construction. Like on the fishing boat, the wife comes in and does a little ad about teeth, so they can get a write-off. This is how they are advertising their business. Just like the commercials you see on TV, the commercials on the radio. I fell out of my chair last night when I saw this commercial for, I guess it was for a car, but it was a lady running out of a restaurant, and then this caption came on that said, "This is what happens when you check him out online while he's at the bathroom." She ran out of that restaurant and jumped in the car.
So it's like when Oprah say, "You get a car, you get a car, you get a car." Those are all tax deduction write-offs.
Right. Yep. That's it.
And so see, Rob, and what she's saying is, to our listeners and our viewers, it's not a big thing to set up a business, but you got to set up the business first. You have to have a business, and you have to operate the business. Most people just say, okay, I got a company, and they put the name on the van or the truck or whatever it is, and they think that, hey, I'm in business. No, hey, explain setting up a business, please, Larisa.
Setting up, you mean actually forming an LLC?
Right, forming, whether it's an LLC or what, what must you do? What must you do so that you can get these benefits? Because just because I said I want a boat, and Larisa just told me I can go out and I can have Robert, the Henderson Financial Group, advertise on my boat while I'm on the boat. We talk about a little finance, and I get it paid for. But if I don't have a business set up, I can't get it paid for. I'm saying I got a business, or I got a business card. Having a business card doesn't make it a business.
Right. You do have to go through the legal procedures to set up the business with the Secretary of State and the IRS. But the biggest issue, because a lot of people will do that, the biggest issue is your business has to bring in some money in order for you to get these write-offs, in order for you to need the write-offs. So as long as your business is thriving and you have money coming in, then you're able to get these write-offs to reduce your taxes down as low as possible.
So is it safe to say that you think that most people should have some form of business entity, whether it's home-based business or real estate or something that they like, whether it's fishing or whatever? You think that in America, in order to mitigate and reduce your taxes so you can prosper more and build wealth, you think that you have to have some sort of mitigation for taxes?
Well, I can tell you what I've seen. People who have large incomes, once they start a business, they pay a lot less in taxes. So,
What about home-based business where you're at home and you're home based? You might be doing something on the phone or whatever. I mean, is there a lot of write-offs in that? Because some people don't really know what to do. They 9 to 5 person, and they don't really know how to start a business. What kind of advice would you give them in terms of how to start, and what should they be looking at in terms of a business that might be comparable and good for them?
well, you need to do something that you can get excited about. Something that, you have an area. Every person on this earth has some gift that they can use to have a business. I don't know what you can do. I have people in all different sorts of businesses, like people who sing and people who dance, as long as people will pay you for it. I had one client, he said, my wife don't do nothing but sleep. Well, she can get a job testing beds. That's a real job.
That's a
Well,
real
not
job.
have a business testing beds, so that the mattress manufacturers can pay her to test those mattresses out. And it's real. I'm serious. It's people do this. So even if all you want to do is sleep, there's still hope. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But can you draw? Can you cook? Can you wash a car? Can you cut the yard? What is it you do? And it's probably something you're pretty good at that people will pay you for. So that's what you need to use as your business.
A lot of Robert, Larissa, a lot of people are retiring from their jobs. For instance, teachers. Hey, tutoring, and you can do it virtually now, and you can have someone set it up for you if you're not technically literate or whatever, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, how do I set that up? Da, 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 da. Hey, no, look at what you, as you say, what you're gifted in doing, because there are opportunities out there. There are people who would love to have people express or tutor their children. So, because with this pandemic now, I understand that teaching at home is really blowing up,
Yes.
and it doesn't mean that the parent is going to do a good job at teaching their children. So why can't you have someone, who is a certified retired teacher to do that, or to help out? So
And what are the tax deductions for teaching at home? Like what James says. What kind of tax deductions can you get for having a room that you're working out of?
An home office is a really big one. So if you use an office space in your home for your business, you need to know what is the percentage of your house that your office occupies. So let's suppose your office is 10% of your house. Then you're able to get a write-off for 10% of your mortgage or your rent, 10% of your utilities, 10% of everything, insurance, everything that has to do with that house. 10% of it would be a write-off for you on your taxes. So that's just one thing. In your office, what do you have? Is there a computer? Are there bookshelves, desk, chair, screens, all kind of things that you need in order to do your job? Also, if you're a teacher, tutor, you're tutoring, you need some books. You need some materials, teaching aids that you would use to help your students learn. All of these things are write-offs.
I just heard somebody say, Robert, I just heard somebody say, I don't want to do all of that. That's why I left the classroom. I left the classroom because I didn't want to deal with those kids. I don't want to look at no more planning, no more teacher planning guides. No, but it is an opportunity out there, folks. Believe me. And Robert, my grandmother used to say, the worst job you could ever have is doing nothing. I don't. I'm serious.
Why so many people want to do nothing then?
Robert, I don't think they really mean it when they say I don't want to do anything. They just say I want to do what I want to do. But I mean, if you try doing nothing, that really doesn't last very long. Trust me, if you stay alive. And a lot of times that's why when people retire, hey, all of a sudden it's a countdown, Rob. It's a countdown because who wants to do nothing? I don't know many people who don't want to do anything.
But what do they want to do?
They best find something to do to stay here. Robert Henderson.
So you said so you're saying that also you said the majority of people are being taken advantage and paying too much in taxes. Is it safe to say that?
Yes, the government even says that. They know.
Okay. They know.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't make people make better decisions and keep more of their money. So the government get billions and billions of dollars every year because people don't understand or know the correct moves to how to reduce their taxes. And there's a lot of people go to these H&R Blocks, a lot of these agencies that they think that they're going to get nice strategy, but I know the strategy is just not there. You have to seek, ask, and knock. Watch shows like this to find out, where can you go and how can you find out, to get things that'll help you. And there's something about seeking. I wonder why the good Lord James made it seeking. Why seeking? Why not just here it is? Here it is. Why do you think you got to seek all the time? Why can't you just get it handed to you on a platter? What do you say about that, James? Why is that?
I just told you, there are people, Robert, there are literally people who want to work 20 years and say, hey, I don't want to do it. Come on, man. Most of us.
Why is seeking required? Why?
Seeking is required because we Robert, we were put here for a purpose. Now, we don't want to believe that. We just think that, hey, but Larisa did drop a good seed because there are people who want more than what they have, even though they don't want to work for it. They want more, but sometimes you can't get them incentivized enough to say, okay, here's what you do. Because if you're running a business, you got to keep records. If you're running a business, there are things that you have to do. The other thing that Larisa blew my mind with, that I think I mentioned on one of our other broadcasts, when she said, something, when you have a business, you can meet and based on your zip code or the area that you live in the country, hey, you can duck some $1,200. Is it a quarter or a month, Larisa? How does that work when you have your corporate meetings?
Depends on where you are in the country.
Right. Yeah.
So those Miami people, they can get like $2,500 a day. Here in Atlanta, we can only get
whoa. 25. Wait, Larisa, I didn't hear that one the first time. They can get $2,500 a day.
Yes, that's correct. Because Miami is a high tourist area. The prices of renting a nice hotel conference room where you would hold something like that are very expensive. When I did the research, I found some place that was like $10,000 a day. Now, I don't know what exactly you would get for that, but on an average for the Miami area, I came up with $2,500 a day that you would be able to rent out your home for and get a tax deduction.
So you can rent it out. So you can rent it out to your business?
Yes. You rent it to your business. You hold your meetings. You could do networking, seminars. It doesn't really matter what, but the business gets the write-off. So the business would pay you as the owner, and you don't have to include it as income on your taxes.
Why is that?
Because they wrote it up for them, Robert. You weren't supposed to know that.
Yeah, it stemmed from, well, no, it didn't really. But It's 280E in the tax code if you want to look it up. But people in Augusta, Georgia, when they were renting out their homes for the Masters golf tournament, it got really popular a few years ago, and they start calling it the Augusta rule, which it's been in the tax code forever. So I don't know where that came from.
So you saying Donna Jared Mays, who just tuned in to us, you saying Donna has a business because
Yes.
Donna does real estate. She does Obamacare, one of the tops in the country, and she does Medicare. So you saying Donna can rent out her personal residence to her company for board meetings, and her company can pay Donna, the homeowner, minimum $2,500, take a tax deduction for that from the business, and Donna can take that money and put it in her pocket and go shopping. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
Donna, I just simplified that for you. But I think Donna using Donna, go get it. Hey, Larissa, get out your telephone number, man. June, can you put Larissa's telephone number? So Donna might already have your number, right? Donna Jared Mays.
Yes, she does.
All right, Donna. I just in case you're slipping, you forgot about that one. I'm glad you tuned in. Hey, June, can you put Larissa's contact number in the post, Larissa? Can you give the number out? Donna, you post a number. Somebody post a number. What's the number?
It's 770-451-6330.
Do it again.
770-451-6330.
Okay. If you want to rent out your home to your business for at least, how many times can you do it a year?
Well, you can do it as many times as you want, but you can only get this write-off where it's not taxable to you 14 times in a year. If you do it more than that,
James, you expect that number, James? You expect that?
I thought it would be monthly, Robert. I didn't think it would be. Hey, there's only 12 months in the year, so you can do it 14 times. Okay,
you gotta ask.
Times.
Hey, that's why I tell you, James.
That's
you
what I'm
ask.
talking. Robert, that's why I'm saying you ask, you seek, and you not. Hey, there's just things we don't know that we don't know. Because see, when Larissa first said that a year or so back, I think she had said, "Oh, James, you can do $1,200. I think it's $1,200 and da 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 da." And when she just said 25, I'm saying, "Wait a minute, I thought it was 1,200." So believe me, I will be having, but now what Larissa is restructuring me to do, Robert, I have less LLCs, correct, Donna? That's what we're doing now. That's what we're working on. I don't need as many LLCs. Okay, all right. That's personal. That's personal. Yeah, I'm. She's restructuring me, Rob. but I can still have my meetings.
So you can have 14 meetings. And each time the corporation's got to write a check out to the homeowner.
Well, to the business owner.
To the business owner.
Okay. The business owner, he owns the business. The business has a checking account.
Yes.
The business owner gets the business checking account and write out a check to the homeowner.
Business owner. Because it could still work for somebody that rents. That rents their home that they live in.
But ain't the homeowner and the business owner one and the same?
Could be.
They may not own the home. That's the issue.
Okay.
So if I rent my home, I can still get this deduction, but I'm the business owner. I'm not the homeowner.
So either I'm renting your house out. Either I'm going to come to Atlanta, Larissa, and I'm going to rent your house out, and I'm going to pay you, $2,000 or $2,500 a day, and I'm going to write that check from the Henderson Financial Group to Larisa Humprhey, correct?
You could.
Well, or better yet, if I own that house in Atlanta, and I write from Henderson Financial Group, I write that check to Robert Henderson.
No, it has to
No,
be
it has to be
your
to the
where you
business,
live.
Robert.
To get
Oh,
this write off, it has to be where you live.
Even if you didn't own, see, what she's saying, Rob, is that some people don't own where they live. They're renting, so but
oh, I got
they're
it.
renting, but they have a business. So you write, you don't write it to the homeowner, you write it to the business,
I
and
got it.
you're the owner of the business. But but if you doing it from your house, you would write it still to the business, but you are, if you own the house and it's your house, because you're having an office. Am I correct in this? Help me out, Rich, to make sure I'm
Yes,
right. Yeah,
you're
I have the
correct.
office in my house. I can write it out to my company, James T Entertainment and Management Inc.
And then
You know,
and then you will get the money out yourself.
no, boom, whatever you want to do, whatever, however. But hey,
How you get the money? That's what I'm trying
yeah,
to.
well,
How do
see,
you get
how
How
do
the
to
you
money?
get the money?
How do
the
you
the
get the
money?
money?
Yeah, okay, Larissa, go ahead. Explain how we
How
get the
you get the
money
money to
because you're writing the
go to
money
dinner?
back to the company. You're writing the money back to your
No,
business.
no, the company is paying you.
The company is paying me.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
say
can you put a
ABC, you own ABC Company.
Okay.
ABC Company wants to have networking meetings for a week at your
Okay.
house. So ABC would write a check to you, James T,
Oh, okay.
for
that's what I said.
That's what.
$2,500 a
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
That's what I
Okay.
said.
Yeah. I got you. I got you.
No, but so you were talking about coming to Atlanta. It has to be the home where you live.
Okay, so where Robert Henderson personal resident in, if the
Right,
Henderson Financial Group writes a check for $3,000, the corporation is going to have a meeting at Robert Henderson personal residence. The
right.
corporation, Henderson Financial Group, will write a $3,000 check out today, payable to Robert Henderson, so the business can go to Robert Henderson house and have a meeting. Correct?
That's correct. And Robert Henderson does not have to claim that money on his taxes. It's tax free money to Robert Henderson.
And Robert
Ooh.
Henderson can do that 14 times
Tabs.
a year.
Yes, you got it.
So that's 3,000 times 14. That's
She
three
said
times 12.
2,500, Robert. 2,500. You took it to 3,000. Why it's gotta be 3,000?
Oh, because where I live is more than
Because he wants a more.
that. So that's 3,000 times 14. That's 3 times 4. That's 12. That's 3, 4. Oh my goodness, that's $42,000.
That's a hefty write off.
But a
And
year.
for most people, that's gonna mean about $12,000 maybe in taxes that they don't have to pay.
That's pretty good.
That's real good.
So you wouldn't, that strategy right there, you wouldn't never hear from that from Liberty Taxes or H&R Block.
They probably don't even know that it exists.
That's why I'm saying, Rob, people are listening and watching, they're gonna say, whoa, yeah, I know about that. Yeah. Hey, hello, can I speak with Larissa, please? Yeah. Can you explain this so that I can, because I got a client sitting here in front of my desk.
So listen, why do you think a lot of accountants don't tell their people that?
I don't think they know either.
What?
Accountants don't study the whole tax code. You
They
know,
don't?
when we went through the certified tax coach trainings, they came up with a lot of stuff I had never heard about. I have been doing taxes for a while before I started the certified tax coach thing. So accountant, they don't teach you that in when you're learning how to do a tax return. That's not anything that comes into play. So you have to study the rest of the tax code in order to get these strategies.
Oh, so learning how to file a tax is totally different from learning all of the strategies, the moves that are in the 73,000 page instructional tax book. That's totally different.
Yes, it is.
And once you learn the moves in the tax code, then you already know how to prepare taxes. Then you take those strategies and you apply it and you put it on your 1040 or the business, and that's how you benefit. That's the difference between tax preparing and tax planning. See, they didn't teach us this in school, man. James, you know, I just met Larisa 10 years, and after I met her, she was telling me all this. So I said, what you talking about? So I actually went and I enrolled in the school, and I found out just what she said was true. Not that I was doubting the sister, but I had to go find out for myself. I know white people don't play about the taxes. You know what I mean?
but Robert, the thing is too, now a person will hopefully see the benefit, even if you have a 9-to-5, the benefit of owning a business.
Yes.
Yeah, the benefit of owning a business, of having a business, because all of these things are there that we didn't know that were there for us. How we can, if you got a business now, going back to what Larisa said earlier, that's generating revenue.
That's right. That's right.
I like this. You think the people learning something who are watching and listening to us? You think they learned something new?
If they didn't tune out, you know, saying, "Oh no, that's too much work," or "Hey, my brain," you know, that's my brain. Come on, hey, that Rob, I want to go through. If you are losing weight or whatever you're doing, that's gonna be points, man. Your muscles are gonna tense up. You got to work through it. But you know, it's not for everybody. And that's why you talked about the 95% this morning, or 90 whatever percent. Some people just they're never going to do this. But hopefully there's someone out there that says, wait a minute, you know, hey, I do have an idea, I do have a goal, or I do have a business, and I didn't know that these were advantages that I could take advantage of, or these were opportunities that I could take advantage of, so that I can earn more, save more, do more, give more. You know, come on, man, and live a better life. Yeah, just come on. I don't want to just be alive here on this earth. Yeah, hey, I want to live that abundant life, Robert, that we've been promised.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy last night, and it was a very interesting conversation, James, Larisa, because he told me that he is perfectly content with just living a life of existing and surviving.
But
Oh my God.
I told you, Robert, there's some people who, hey man, I don't want
to. He was okay, man. He lives in an apartment. He has his car, and he says that
I'm good.
He say he's good. He is perfectly content with having a life of existing and just merely surviving. He said he's okay. He's not interested in, nothing. But then it's amazing because in the office here earlier this week, we were all having conversations. We was in the matter of fact, Heisey had the Valentine's Day whole, rose petals and all kind of
love.
Yeah, she had all that, and we were talking about service and what we're put here on the planet for. We're put here is to serve, and it's perfectly natural for man to want to grow and learn and aspire to get more. It's perfectly natural, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to create. We're supposed to create and develop. And here I'm talking to this guy yesterday, and he was perfectly content with the opposite, to just merely exist and survive. And I said to him, that's what animals do, and we are surely superior than them. We don't just wander around looking for food on the ground or whatever in the jungle. We supposed to have goals and plans and serving others.
People having a difficult time during the pandemic, so he won't stay that way. Hopefully, and hopefully he'll find something that he can do, if not for himself, for someone else, and then he'll get the joy out of helping somebody. And
That's interesting, man.
If you ever catch that, maybe it'll work out. We are over time.
Thinking he hasn't found his purpose. He couldn't, because who could be satisfied with that? But anyway, for all of you people who are not satisfied with that, I would like to invite you to my introduction to tax planning call on Thursday at 1 p.m.
All right.
If you're interested, please call my office and give them your name and email address and phone number, and we will send you out the invitation so you can come. It's going to be a Zoom call Thursday at 1 o'clock. and you can come in, you can ask questions, and I'll be explaining the basics of tax planning and how it can save you money on your taxes.
Oh, that is so
So
wonderful.
yeah, so my number once again 770-451-6330. Just call the office and give them your name, email address, and phone number.
So now, is there a cost for attending this event?
No, it's free.
And
I
and
didn't
what's
even think of that, Robert. I should charge people. I'm giving some valuable information that can save you hundreds and thousands of dollars. I didn't think of that.
No, Larissa. Robert was just he wanted these people who were watching to know that hey, we give and we give and we give and we get and we get and we get and we get more than we give because we keep giving. You know, but that's
so
great.
that is fantastic, and that's this Thursday, and that's at 1 p.m.
Yep.
And you can call
Eastern.
the office and register. And it's how long is it going to be for? I mean, how long the Zoom meeting going to be? They can ask questions.
About an hour.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I got to make sure I tell Heisey so we can put that on our schedule so we can blast out.
770-451-6330.
Correct.
Okay, correct.
Man,
Yeah.
seeking, huh? Seeking,
Yes, sir.
asking, seeking, and knocking. The doors shall be open. Boy, I tell you, James, there's a lot of people who not down with that, but then there's a lot of us who are.
Yeah. As Robert Henderson says, you cannot enrich yourself unless you enrich others.
That's right. That's the law.
But
Hey,
the more
James, take
you
us out in prayer.
all right, here we go. Oh, a short one since we were dealing with love. And this came from my brother up in Edmond. I think it's Edmond, Oklahoma or something. It said,
Edmond, yeah.
You're familiar with that?
He's
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Oklahoma. He's an
It's
Oklahoma
just
person.
outside of Oklahoma City, about
Oh.
20 miles.
Excuse me. See there? I got family there, taken from Ephesians 3:17, and been there for years. It says, and we should, Ephesians 3:17 says, and I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the Lord's holy people to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. God, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us today, and we pray that someone has heard something that would help them in becoming full of that love and desire to be better that you have given us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Church say amen. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Yeah, man, that's where Larissa, that's her stomping ground. Larissa from Oklahoma.
All right. Well,
That's
Robert,
good, man.
Larissa, thank you so much for all that you do. I really do appreciate that. And folks, we're waiting on a commitment to go to a level we've never been before. So you can be in prayer for us, for James and Robert, Larissa and Donna and the whole team, everybody on the team, because we want to be able to do more, to give more, and to empower people. And God has given us a vision and a goal, and it's going to happen. So, hey, thanks for all the love that you guys show as well. Mr. Henderson,
Yes.
close it out.
And you all be safe out there. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Did y'all see Linda coughing on me this morning? Coughing on me?
Stop, Robert. Stop. Don't say it. Rob, don't put it in
So
the
y'all
atmosphere.
wear your mask. Wear your mask. Right?
She didn't cough on you. She turned.
I'm in the room here in the studio. You know how
Hey.
you see how far they said it'll go. You know how far they said that cough will travel.
But you
anyway,
you vaccinated, Rob, and you boosted.
I'm all that. I'm covered.
You covered. Love you, Larissa.
Hey, love you, Larissa. Hey,
Love
and
y'all too.
we will be tuning in on Thursday at 1 p.m. to get all
right.
these news from Larissa. Okay, much love. Have a wonderful weekend. Boy, I tell you.